Welcome back to Beyond the Buckets. I am happy to have Desiree Lotz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
We finally got our technical difficulties straightened out, and yeah, I'm excited that a week later we can actually have this conversation. But you are a nutrition and health expert. Why don't you give our listeners just a little quick background about yourself?
Okay, so I've been in the nutrition game for more than 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when Before I fell pregnant with my first child, I found a nutritionist, Adele Davis, an American lady. I was obviously still in South Africa because that's where I come from. And the data was so powerful, and I started to use it. Then I became a detox specialist. And then I moved to the USA and I found another really, really good person. So I've learned a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
from, and I help people with their bodies, and I do muscle testing on people if they look close to me. If they're not, then I also give advice and stuff like that. I don't know if your audience knows what muscle testing is. Um,
No, but why don't you give us a quick explanation of it?
okay, so basically, it's Chinese. You got meridian points all over your body, and you use the person's arm to test the different points. If the arm stays strong, all is good. If the arm goes weak, there's something needed in that area, and
Mm-hmm.
then I help to find the right thing that's needed, and we fix it, and on away we go.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
simple.
So talk to me a little bit about what are some like nutritional things that people uh, should be doing in their day-to-day lifestyle. I'm a big proponent that I don't believe that diets work because
Mm.
uh, they just don't. Because once you get off the diet, you're going to go back to wherever you were at before, and in a lot of cases, you're going to be worse off than you were before you started the diet. Um, I'm a big proponent in lifestyle. So talk to me about some lifestyle things that maybe people may not understand or things that they probably should be considering for their own personal diet and nutrition.
Okay, so what you just said is totally aligns with my thinking. Most diets are fad diets, and I'm not. To me, that is not. So, besides dieting, and if you're trying to fix a body problem, and the way I explain it, I've got an article on my site called Nutrition Program, and on in there you'll see I have a picture of a guy filling the cracks on the wall of a house. So it keeps filling the cracks. And if you keep filling the cracks, you're going to keep having cracks. The art of the whole thing is to repair the foundation of the house.
Mm,
And and the same goes with the body. So if you keep getting headaches and you just keep taking medication or something for the headache, you're going to keep having headaches. You've got to go back to the fundamentals, the basics of what the body needs. And um, and that's basically good nutrition. Now, the article, the nutrition program on my site, goes over a really basic, simple thing. For example, one of the ingredients in there is brewer's yeast. And most people don't know about brewer's yeast. It's the most abundant. I mean, liver is probably more abundant, but most people won't want to eat liver.
right.
But brewer's yeast has got the B vitamins in proper nature balance. So all the B vitamins and some minerals. And when you people that crave sugar, even if they go on the program, they very often don't even realize it, but the sugar cravings stop or
Mm,
slow down or whatever. Because basically the body is deficient in B vitamins, and I'm not talking about vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin 3 that you buy in the store, not that at all. Like you said, it's basic fundamental stuff. So if people have all of that in place, then generally speaking, there won't be a problem. But if there is something, then okay, well, hang on a second. I've got a headache. What's happened? Then you can kind of track it back to something you may have done, too much sugar or or whatever it might have been. But keep the basics in and follow the basics.
Mm. Um, Talk about dietary supplements and really just over the counter stuff that you can get, like a multivitamin, or you can get a vitamin D supplement or a vitamin C supplement. Do these sort of things work, in your opinion, for people trying to supplement what they're already putting in their body, and just getting a little bit more than that they may not be getting in their current diet?
Okay, I'm going to give you my viewpoint and my opinion. I do not like most of the supplements that are available out there. First of all, let's just take the B vitamin. Let's take vitamin B1. What they do is they take this B1, and very often it's made with coal tar and stuff, by the way, just so you know.
Say that
Um,
again. Say that one more time.
Very often these B vitamins are made with coal tar, or a lot of these, they use coal tar to make the B vitamins. I
Hmm.
mean, you'd have to do your research and look for all of that type of thing. But so you've got B, let's say you go take B1, 100 milligrams. That is not the way to do it. You are throwing your body's balance off. So what I encourage people to do is do a nutrition program that's got basic food sources of vitamins in it. For example, if you take a B1 capsule, the powder is white. Nothing in nature is white.
Mm.
So already you can just, that's right there, you're out of nature. So the basic supplementation should be done with natural stuff. Um, there's some interesting stuff because in this program on my site is there's a thing called lecithin. Now, which is also very, very important for the body. But they have to get that lecithin extracted from the plants, but you need to have it in whole form. So when people, for example, high cholesterol or cataracts behind the eyes or those kind of things, is very often a buildup of, sometimes it's calcium buildup, but the wrong type of calcium will build up. And in cholesterol, is in the, I've got pictures and stuff to show, but I haven't got them here with me, is just fat particles that are not breaking down. So these are floating around and causing problems, depositing on the side of the arteries and creating potential heart attacks or heart blockages, or whatever the kind of thing. I've got um, I've got two bottles here that are, I should have the picture on my website too. These two bottles both contain the exact same amount of oil and water. And when oil and water, they don't mix, eh?
Right.
Because oil is bigger particles, so it floats on top of the water.
Sure.
And this one has got oil and water as well, but it's also got lecithin.
Mm.
So
You
if you
said
take
is that glycogen? You said.
lecithin,
Gly- Okay.
Lecithin, and lecithin is called an emulsifier. And if you look at chocolate and a lot of these cookies and stuff, you'll see it as lecithin as an emulsifier.
Hmm.
They even use lecithin to make paint, the
Hmm.
paint on the wall, because
Yeah.
there's all kinds of particles in there. And when you paint your walls, you don't want particles stuck on the. So the lecithin breaks them down and does that what I showed you. So these are all very basic, fundamental things, and the lecithin breaks down the fat in the bloodstream and
Hmm.
makes it like this.
Yeah.
So it's not pieces.
Yeah. A selfish question. I take athletic greens every single day, and what they do is basically promote, all the vitamins and nutrients that you would need for that entire day into this green drink. And
Okay.
so I will take that along with lemon, which from my research helps decrease inflammation. I will put some ginger, some turmeric,
Mm.
some cayenne pepper, and I will put some cinnamon in there, and a little bit of honey, raw organic honey
Mm.
into this drink, and then I'll have some green tea
Uh-huh.
from the bags, and that'll be kind of what I consume in the morning. I'll have a cup of coffee, and then I'll have that kind of mid morning. And I usually don't eat till probably noon or 1 o'clock on most days. But that has worked for me. It gives me it feels like my vitality is higher.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like my energy is higher. I'm not as inflamed as I used to be doing. Oh, also I put a little half teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So that's one of the things that I do
Mm.
on a morning to morning basis. You're the expert, so is that
Perfect. It
okay?
sounds perfect. Oh my gosh, and the ginger and the turmeric and all that. It's perfect. I like that. I don't know what it's in the green drink, but it sounds like it's probably a totally natural thing put together.
Yeah, I'll let me look it up here. Uh, so basically, Athletic Greens is from their website. It
Mm-hmm.
is a comprehensive formula that helps you adapt to your daily needs and helps decrease stress, sleep patterns, and it gives you a daily dose of nutritional stuff. So it's got 75 highly absorbed ingredients. It's diet friendly. It's designed for athletes, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's I
It
guess what
sound
it.
it sounds great, but I'd have to look at the ingredients because but as long as it's all basic stuff and it's got that, it makes sense to me.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to it at the end so you can kind of take a look at it. But
Okay.
I've been doing that probably for the last almost the last year, and
Mm-hmm.
it's worked really well for me. But
Great.
those are
That's your only test. How you doing?
exactly yeah
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm always looking to optimize, and I want to live as long as I possibly can. I want to be as healthy as I possibly can, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to share. If something's working for me, maybe it might work for other people too.
Mm.
So do you have any thoughts on just and everybody's different, obviously, but do you have any
Yep.
thoughts on daily things that you can do to help you with your nutrition?
Okay. Now we're going to touch on a subject that is my hot item. And I've got a book that's about to be released on the subject,
Mm,
and the subject is dehydration.
mm.
And the question I ask people is, can drinking water dehydrate you? So,
Can drinking water dehydrate you?
uh-huh.
I'm probably gonna say it can. If you if you drink too much water, and I'm not an expert like yourself, but I'm assuming if you drink too much water, it could probably have a counter effect
Mm.
to your hydration.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good answer. Um, but the only thing is that I'm going to tell you, drinking water can dehydrate you, and you don't even have to have a lot.
Mm,
And the simplicity, there's a very simple explanation on it. So the minerals, what happens is if you drink water, you pee. You drink,
yep.
you pee, you drink, you pee. So what's happening is you're losing your minerals more and more and more. And the
Mm,
more minerals you lose, the more dangerous it is. So your minerals um, if you think about electricity that comes into the house, if it comes in and the electrical current is working well, the lights are on, your computer's working, everything is happy, your fan, blah, blah, is working. When there's some interference, then there's flickering of the lights or whatever. And there's varying degrees. So it can get worse and worse and worse. In the worst case scenario, there's a blackout.
right.
Okay, so now if you take that picture and you think about the human body's electrical current is created by the minerals. And the brain is the central nervous system. The brain is where all the signals go to every part of your body. It goes to your heart, it goes to your little finger, it goes to your toe, it goes all over. And if that's all working well, then you are good to go. So let's say if you are well, your electricity is good. I'll explain to you what causes not to be good. And let's say you put your finger on the hot stove. If your electricity is working good, you'll be fast. If you
Right.
If you step out in the road and there's a car coming and your electricity is good, you'll step back in time. Your reaction time will be good, just
Right.
like in sports and stuff like that. But if your electricity is not good, you can put your finger on that hot stove and only the message will only come up. It'll take longer to get to the central nervous system to say, oh, take your finger off the stove. Or if you step out in the road and your electricity is not working well, that car might hit you or whatever.
Right.
So basically, the electrical current of the human body is created by minerals.
Mm.
And I'm going to talk about salt. And salt, so many people, doctors and all that, tell people not to if they got high blood pressure and stuff, not to have salt. And I agree with that salt the salt that you find in the supermarket is poison, totally poison. This is all it is. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a thing now. All it is one salt has got 80 minerals. So if you look at this salt, Celtic sea salt,
Mm-hmm.
there's about 80 minerals in it. So, and this is a glass ampoule of seawater, which I'll tell you a bit more about. So basically, your body needs minerals. It needs calcium, magnesium. They're the most abundant minerals, and it needs all these minerals. So when you're drinking the water, it hydrates the cells. Because if you drink and pee and drink and pee, you're losing more and more minerals. So you're getting more and more dehydrated.
So let me ask you this: would it make sense to take a magnesium supplement, or will that not do much because it is a supplement?
Well, basically, I didn't bring it with me now, Don. Just hang on one second. I haven't got my bottle here. I actually manufacture a product called Instant CalMag-C. This is just a packet of it. I don't have a bottle here to show you. And this is a calcium magnesium. Now, this is a supplement, but it's a very crucial kind of a supplement because you're not going to, the calcium that's in here is a specific type of calcium. It's called calcium gluconate, not carbonate. And so calcium and magnesium are your most abundant minerals. Calcium is 2 parts and magnesium is 1 part of, so 2 to 1 of that. And then you've got all these other minerals that there's also calcium and magnesium in here, but it's not adequate for what I'm going to explain. So if you've got enough calcium and magnesium, then your heart, I'll give you a picture here. So calcium contracts the heart. So the blood pulls into the heart and magnesium relaxes it so it goes out. So that's a heartbeat.
Got it.
Another picture you can get on this is like a worm crawling along. A caterpillar does this. This part of it is the calcium part, and this part of it is the magnesium part. So you contract, relax, and that's how the body works. So that's a combination. So minerals is kind of really a basic fundamental that's vital for the human body. And I've had people, I had a lady come and see me once. She was from France, very high blood pressure. She wasn't even allowed to go into this particular place because her blood pressure was too high. And she came to see me, and I've seen a few like that. And I tested her, and there's a point here, this muscle testing thing. There's a point here on the head that I used to test the hydration. She was completely dehydrated. And when I tested her, she needed 8 of these. And she called her doctor in France, and he said, no, you can't take that salt. Your blood pressure, wow, wow, wow. But she didn't listen to him. She listened to me. The next day, her blood pressure was down. And so that white salt junk that they sell in the supermarket is poison, and that will cause all kinds of health issues.
So is sea salt the best salt to use?
Yes, and I prefer personally the Celtic sea salt. To me, it's the best. This is pure seawater. And this is just a glass bottle I used. The bottle is, I put my water, good quality water in here, and then I add my salt to it. And that's the only way I drink my water throughout the day. I don't drink 2 or 5 or whatever gallons of water. I don't believe in that at all. You drink what the body needs, but if you put the salt in, your body's going to be hydrated.
Interesting. Have you heard much about the alkaline water that people are consuming? Is this something similar to what that is?
No,
Um,
no,
okay.
no, no, no.
And so
I,
that's been a big craze in specifically athletics, where athletes are only drinking alkaline water, and
no,
they will bring these systems along wherever they're at.
yeah.
One of my friends who's in the NBA, he would bring his system on traveling. So do you have any knowledge about alkaline water and how that all works?
If it's too alkaline, it's going to start dissolving your body organs. Um, the body likes things in the mid pH, in the middle, between 7 and 8, and round about 7.4 is your mid. And I've tested many, many, many people, especially around the time when all those machines were so the big thing and all that. And everybody I tested that was drinking a very alkaline water tested poor. It's I'm not going to I don't want to make anybody wrong or anything like that, but it's totally, totally not safe.
Hmm.
Because the more alkaline, I've actually got books on it here too, the more alkaline it is, the more dangerous it is for the organs and glands. And it's another subject.
Yeah. And do you know what those dangers are? What does it actually do to your organs and glands?
Well, in the worst case scenario, it dissolves the organs and glands, and I know somebody who died from that. But that's obviously an extreme case. But I just stay away from that. I mean, obviously, I've had a lot of people trying to get me to do the machine and do this thing and do that thing. I won't go into it because I've done my own research on it. And but just as an interesting subject here, and it might answer the question, but in a roundabout way. This is seawater. Now, if you take, when you cry, what do your tears taste like?
Salt.
Good. And when you sweat and you lick it, what does it taste like?
Salt.
Okay, good. And if you prick your finger and you taste the blood, what does that taste like?
A little salty. I haven't done that in a long time, so.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Me too. So basically, because what you just said, the human body, the liquid part of the body is salty. And if you took some of that blood and you tested it chemically, and you took seawater and you tested it chemically, it's almost identical.
Hmm.
So the human body wants to be in that kind of alkalinity range, in that right form, and you will find it's everybody has to do their own research and stuff. I've always because I don't just buy into stories and stuff. But do you know where the word salt comes from?
I do not.
Most people don't, so don't. I had to look it up too. Salt comes from the word salary, pay.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is way back when the sailing ships used to sail around the planet and trade. Remember, way back then? They used to sail around and go to China and go here and go there, and all were trading for carrying stuff backwards and forwards.
Hmm.
They got paid with salt,
Hmm.
the sailors, because it's so vital for life.
Hmm.
You'll die without it. So, but people don't realize that the more refined the food is, the more the bad salt is in there,
Hmm.
and blah blah blah, and then all these fads and gimmicks and blah blahs come out, and it just gets worse and worse.
So how much sea salt do you put in your water daily?
Okay, so what I do, and everybody's different.
Sure.
So I take salt and I put it in my hand. I know exactly because now I'm used to it, but everybody will eventually get used. And I put it in my drinking water, and then I shake it up. Let's say it's a new person. I mean, I don't have to do that anymore, but a new person, they can just do that, put the salt in, shake it up, taste it. If it's too,
And how much salt would you put in? Like a teaspoon, tablespoon?
not a tablespoon, I would probably I'd start with, say, half a teaspoon. Put it in, shake it up, taste it. If it's too salty, obviously that's simple. You just add a bit more water.
Hmm.
If it's too flat tasting, then that means it hasn't got enough minerals or any, flavor. Then you must add a bit more.
So I might have a new addition to my little morning concoction now.
That sounds like a good idea. And then CalMag too, because that's so vital. But I can give you lots more information about that. But yes, yeah,
Hmm.
because it sounds
It's
like you're on the right track, and these are just like new things that can be added and tested.
right. Yeah, I'm always trying to, like I said, optimize. And a lot of people that listen to this are in that similar boat where
Yeah,
we're always trying to find better ways to accomplish things. And
yeah,
if you're more efficient with what you're putting in your body, you're going to feel better. And eventually, well, that's going to improve your performance, whether that be for work or your workouts or just being a parent or a husband or a wife. So,
absolutely. And just to add to what you just said, I've got so many success stories from athletes, from people that were in hospital because of whatever injury, and you name it. People who couldn't sleep, uh, aches and pains, cramps, you name it, PMS, these all. The CalMag has got such powerful. I've got a Triple A Hall of Fame footballer who had a grade 3 concussion, and he was so traumatized and obviously physically, like, out of it. And his coach gave him a bottle of CalMag to try. The way it changed his life was just amazing. And
mhm.
there's all kinds of stories like that. And it's so vital. Your minerals are more fundamental than even the vitamins.
And does your Cal Mag, does that have salt in it?
No, no,
Got it. So,
no.
but you would recommend while they're drinking the supplement to put some salt into their drink while they're mixing it.
Yeah, so the CalMag you mix with boiling water and dissolve the powder so that it's dissolved. Then you can add unsweetened fruit juice, or more cold water, or ice blocks, or have it hot with a tea bag. Whatever. Everybody's different. And if then you could add some salt into it. But as I explained earlier, calcium contracts the muscles and the nerves. Magnesium relaxes, and that's how it all works. The nervous system, and then the minerals, the water and the salt. It's like, so basically, your basic of your body is the electrical current, the minerals, the calcium, magnesium, and the salt. Then you can have all the stuff you're doing is great. And you might be, because you're doing a natural source of it, you probably might be getting already some aspect of minerals and stuff.
For sure.
Mm,
Talk to me about dealing with stress. I know that's one of the things that help a lot of people with, and I think that's an important, especially over the last year and a half. So many
mm,
people have been
mm.
stressed out, and a lot of people haven't found different outlets to relieve that stress. So, what are some of your things? And I know you talk about smiling more and worrying less, but that's harder and harder to do
Yeah,
as we continue
go
to.
through all this stuff here.
Yep.
So the basic thing is the nutrition program and the CalMag and the salt water. That's your basic body needs. Because here's the basic thing I want to just go before I go into that. If your body's basics are in, then what happens is your mental function is going to be better. So if your body's got missing important things, there's a lot of attention sucked into the body and more stress. So if you've got the body's basic foundation in, like this kind of thing you're talking about, and the water and the salt and the CalMag, those basics are in, then the tension can move off the body. It can't if it's got all this other stuff. So also the proper nutrition helps the mental aspect a lot.
Mm.
So what I tell people is, don't watch TV, don't watch mainstream media, do not watch it. They push fear constantly.
Right.
They make money out of it. So the
Yes.
more fear they push, the more the big pharma and whoever is selling their whatever, the more people buy. And that is, to me, that is so suppressive and not okay to do, but they do it. So don't watch mainstream media. If you've got people in your life who are like, oh, everything is like, stay away from them. Surround yourself with people who are uplifting, and the athletic motion and the body stuff is great. Just do it. Hang out with good guys like Chris, and just really get your attention outwards, and perform and create. And then the other thing that if people have got their attention sucked in because they're worried, first of all, those things that I just mentioned, take a walk, go for a walk and look at things in the environment. Don't walk around thinking. Thinking is the worst thing you can do. Go around and look at physical things in the environment. Watch the car going down the road. Watch the squirrel darting across the road. You know, this, Liz, I love this. I do it all the time. Watch the birds flying. Get your attention outwards. Look at the mountain in the distance. Look, you know, whatever you can find, get your attention out of your mind. And you'll find that it will very much uplift you.
I like that.
Mhm.
Talk to me about understanding weight gain and like what is the key to weight loss?
Aha. um, the fundamentals that we've just been discussing, basic nutrition. And if you got this in, like the brewer's yeast aspect of it, your desire and cravings for the naughty stuff is going to dwindle. And if you got a body in basic good condition and you're doing the uplifting things that we've just been speaking about, that will all help. Now, if people go onto weight loss programs, here's something that people don't know. Um, a lot of people don't know. I guess some do. When you're losing weight, you are detoxing. When you're detoxing, your body's offloading this rubbish and it gets into the bloodstream. So in order for me to get the real picture, I'm going to backpedal a bit. I'm a detox specialist, and people have to sit in the sauna for many hours, and obviously I've got to make sure that they're not blah blah not hydrated. They've got to take certain fats and oils. Now, what happens is when the body is, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you go to the pub with your wife or your girlfriend, and you're getting drunk, and there's a guy in the pub and he's flirting with your wife, and you get mad at him and you get up and you punch him and he punches you and you're kind of having this fight. So what happens is then you go home and you get sober the next day. But now what happens is the body can offload some of the alcohol particles naturally through the blood, through the body system. But there's a lot of these that the body can't offload. So what does it do? Coats it in fat and deposits it in the fatty tissue. So now you've got all these different chemical particles, drug particles, medication particles, all those chemicals in the environment, whatever, all locked up in the fatty tissue.
So let me ask you this: is this why when people drink they tend to gain weight because the alcohol is going directly into these fatty tissues?
Well, it will be part of it. Could be part of it.
And it's excess calories, obviously, too.
Yeah, no, but also alcohol is quite a dangerous thing because it becomes, somebody might not be an alcoholic, but it could be addicted
Right.
in a way that sports and then drink, sports and then drink. You know what I mean?
So what happens for individuals that may not drink a whole lot, but when they do drink, they binge drink? Is that, and from what I've heard, is worse than actually having to drink every single day?
It could be because it's like whatever you're getting, and I'm more concerned with the particles that are lodged in the fatty tissue is more my concern because as a detox specialist, that's what I've got to help people get rid of that. So I want to just go back to the example I was giving about the wife and the husband, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So basically, let's say the guy goes to work and he's tired and he's hungry, whatever. Then what happens is his blood sugar drops and he's lacking energy to some degree or other. So the body pulls on the fat for energy. So now let's say this alcohol particle, when he had that punching session with the guy in the pub, comes out into the bloodstream and now it gets released in the bloodstream. All that emotion, that upset, that anger with his wife and with the guy and blah, blah, whatever, is now released in the bloodstream as well. So then he might feel angry and upset and whatever, but people don't know why. It's just part of life, or whatever you want to call it. So basically what's happened, this has come out and it stirred up those pictures of that incident. So if you were in a car crash and you were drunk, those pictures will also come back. So it's really not good for people to have this locked up in the fatty tissue. Now, to go back to your thing about the weight loss, when you're losing weight, the exact same thing is happening. The body's offloading fat. And the particles, we don't know what's in that fat particle. It could be upset. It could be a time when you were bloated or angry or depressed, or, whatever the thing is, it's going to release those things that happened at that point. So
Now, let me ask you that. Is there a way to counteract that the following day? So say you do enjoy, drinking on an occasion with family and friends, and that next day, is there anything you can do to bounce back so so it doesn't go into those fatty tissues? Is there a way to basically change the outcome of what happens? And a lot of the times is if you've been out drinking quite a bit, the next day is really difficult. So you're trying to put other things. Your body is dehydrated, number one, and then your body is craving these high carb foods or high sugary foods to basically supplement all that alcohol that you consumed the night before.
to compensate, yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
is there anything that people can do if they did have a night out drinking, instead of, getting this large carb-filled meal that has zero nutritional value, might be 2,500 calories the next morning? Is there anything that can counteract that?
Well, what will help? It's not the total solution, because doing a proper detox is the ultimate solution, but you can help yourself. Based on what you said, what you have, and my nutrition program, or that and the CalMag and the hydration, if you get those in first thing in the morning before you even leave home, make sure those are in. Another good thing is eggs. I eat a lot of eggs my whole life. It's also got a lot of lecithin in it. So this is so important to make sure you do that basic thing in the morning. Get those in. That will help your blood sugar rise, and you will also have less of all that other drama coming into your head.
And that's the morning before you drink or the morning after?
Well, I would do it all the time.
Yeah.
I would do it every day. But yes, um, it's a good idea to do it before you drink, but sometimes you end up drinking and not, predicting that. But definitely the next morning, and also before you go to bed. It's very important to help you not wake up with all that hangover. Is also to take a good protein drink or something, a good similar thing, maybe a much less of it, but have that, because it helps your blood sugar. Because a lot of people, I'm going to talk now quickly about diabetics and people like type of person. What happens is their blood sugar is like this. And I've helped many people, and I've got a couple of people who live in my condo complex. It's just like, oh my gosh. When I've tested them, I go into their kitchen. They have got so many medications and psych medications in their cupboard that they take, because they take this one, then there's side effects of it. Then they take this one or two others, side effects of that, and sometimes they have 6. The one person had 10 different medications. So what happens with diabetics is their blood sugar drops, and then the spike, and that's where these mood swings come in. So if you got a good, basic, stable start into your day and start to your day, your blood sugar will be much more stable, and you'll have less of this, So yes, I would tell people like that, have that little bit. What I do is I make this nutritional program that I mentioned, and I actually put it into those mason jars, store it in my fridge upside down, so you can have a bit in the morning, and you can have some at night.
Nice.
Then it's like a balancing act, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I mean, that's really good. That's really good stuff. Stuff that, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really thought about, and that's why I'm talking to somebody like you that has so much information on it. Um, how important is sleep?
Vital. it's vital. Your body, I'll just tell you a little bit. The cells of your body, uh, all the different cells replace themselves in a certain amount of time. Some of them in a few minutes, some of them in a few hours, some of them in a few days. In the I want to sneeze. Sorry.
No problem at all.
um, something in my environment. But the longest cells, the biggest, most basic cells take 7 years. So your body is fully replaced in a 7 year cycle. So if you start to put in the good stuff, those other little cells will start to improve, and the body will, in 7 years, you'll have a new body. And if you don't change and you keep doing the bad stuff, your body's going to be worse. If you start doing the good stuff, your body's going to be better. So it's so important to have the the spiking in the blood sugar to have it stable, because then your body can kind of function properly and you don't have all this depression and this and that. And sleep is very crucial, because sleep is when the body repairs itself.
Right.
And there's certain times it's best for the body to sleep, and there's certain night hours. I don't have the list here with me, but one can always look it up, like look at the meridians of the body or the Chinese medicine. You will see. And if somebody keeps waking up at certain time, always the same time, let's say in the night, then you can learn. Okay, it's always at say 2 o'clock in the morning. Then it's the liver. Let's say then there's an issue with the liver, or it's always at 4 o'clock in the morning. Then it's another issue. So there's various things like that are so. Sleep is your repair time for you and your body.
Uh, would you recommend any sleep aids for people? Some people can't really sleep well, and some people they have the ability to go to sleep, but then they're tossing and turning quite often throughout the night.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Mm-hmm.
some people that have a really difficult time falling asleep, and
Mm-hmm.
then they might sleep well throughout the night, but falling asleep is an issue for them.
Yep.
Would you recommend any sleep aids, or just
No,
kind
but
of
CalMag. I have so many people that use CalMag for sleep problems. It's because the calcium, and it is the basic of the body. Yes, sleep is so important. And like I say, if any of your viewers have a certain time they're waking up constantly, it's always like at say 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever. Um, if they email me, I'm happy to also send them the data about that, information about what could be the issue. And so sleep is vital. And if you're battling to fall asleep, it's a similar kind of a problem. If you drink CalMag and you make sure your blood sugar is stable, could be that. So there's all kinds of factors. And I have people writing to me and asking me questions, and there's no obligation on their part at all. I'm happy to help. And then, just give them information.
right?
I've never had a sleep problem, just so you know. And nor
No,
did and even my kids when they were babies and born. The day they were born, I started them on CalMag.
yeah.
I never knew when they were teething. They weren't wakey babies.
Hmm.
It was so easy.
Interesting.
Mm.
Um, so you talk a lot about how to fight off addiction. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the most stable thing is make sure your basics are in, like the nutrition program you do, or if they want to look into my one. If you got your basic nutrition in, then that'll be the big help factor. And then if you've got people in your life that are negative or making you feel like kind of thing, you got to start looking at how you can get them out of your life. And I don't care if it's a husband or a wife or a mother or a kid or whatever. You've got to you can first try and handle them and get them to stop their bad ways. But if it doesn't stop, then it's better to get them out of your life. I don't allow that kind of person into my life.
Right.
I check first.
Yeah. I always go by the old adage that um, people come into your life for four different reasons:
Uh
to add, subtract, multiply, or divide.
huh.
I'm looking for people that will add to my life or
Uh-huh.
multiply it, and I want to be able to do the same thing for other people.
Uh-huh.
If relationships aren't reciprocated, they're not going to be great relationships where one person is reliant on the other. It
Yep.
makes it very difficult for that relationship to sustain the test of time. And that's one of the ways I live my life.
Totally. That makes so much sense to me. And there's actually another type of personality, but because based on what you said is perfect. That's logic. There's a vampire personality. And people that are famous, like athletes and artists and movie stars and whatever, very often the vampire personality comes up because they suck the blood out of those people.
Right.
Like, let's say you're a good athlete and now you're getting all this attention, so they're getting all this attention. So the more they kind of control you and all that, the more attention they get. I call that a vampire personality.
For sure. No,
Mm, mm-hmm,
I definitely agree with that as well.
mm.
Any other points that you want to make as far as nutrition is concerned, just overall, and then we'll get into the CalMag-C and everything.
Okay. So basically, I just also wanted to say, going back to the sleep issue, the nutrition part, you obviously you eat right and have a good breakfast. Breakfast is your most important meal of the day. But the other thing, if people are battling to sleep, they must make sure their cell phones are not in their room. They mustn't have a TV going. They
Mm,
must have, and very often, not everybody, but people need to have the lights off so it's black.
mm,
So that the whatever switches off.
right, and that's
Those
very
are,
it's very difficult for people to do that. Everybody
yep.
has their phone on them all the time. Usually, most people
Mm,
go to bed with their TV as they're winding down, the TV's
yep.
on, and
Yep.
I have heard people say that go watch TV in your living room and then use your bedroom for sleep and keep your
That's
phone
Yep.
away.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
I don't do that. My phone's next to me as
Uh,
well as as well
yeah,
as the
mine too.
TV. But
Mine too.
but I will say that I try to wind things down. Like my phone is always on the night time, so
Good.
that from what I've heard helps you with your eyes and stuff like that. We have the blue light glasses like these, so if you're staring at
Yeah.
computers all
Yep.
day,
Yep.
you
And
know,
that'll
I'll
chew up your vitamin A, by the way. But that's another. We can talk about that another time.
yeah. You
Mm.
talked you talked briefly about breakfast being the most important meal. Now, I have dabbled in intermittent fasting, and I know that's a health craze now. And I don't think it would work for people if they go in and out of it. Like if you do intermittent fasting, it eventually becomes a lifestyle for you,
Hmm.
not necessarily a fad diet. So
Yeah.
I've tried it over the last several years, and now I just find myself not being hungry in the morning, and that's why I'll eat usually at noon.
Yeah.
But I'm not overeating in those other time
Hmm.
periods. I've gotten to the point now where I only eat smaller portions. Like even if my wife and I will go out to dinner, we will get smaller portions, or we'll split something because we just it's just
Mm.
too much food. But
Yep.
what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
That should be fine. I mean, if you're doing it and you're cleaning the body out, that's fine. I mean, you don't get into fatty stuff, but that sounds fine. Yeah, you're cleaning out you're decluttering or unplugging the toilet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so tell everybody where they can find CalMag-C and how they can get it, and just again quickly some of the benefits that they would get from using this product.
So, okay, so you can go to my website. Do you want me to type it in there or?
I will leave it in. I already have it, so I'll leave it.
Okay.
I'll leave it in the show notes for everybody.
Okay, so calmag-c.com, and there's a lot of articles, and you can search for. And my book on dehydration will be out soon if anybody wants to get it. Or even on my site, there's a dehydration symptoms list, and you'll
Hmm.
be shocked to see that list of symptoms. Um, anyway, and they can reach out to me by email anytime.
And do you want to put that email out there for everybody, or just go to the website?
Yeah. So, okay, Desiree, I think it's showing in the thing there. Hey,
Yep.
at calmag-c.com.
Got it.
CalMag-C.com. Yeah.
Okay. And you can also get it on Amazon, I believe.
Yep.
Great. Um, and anything else? Oh, uh, if there was somebody that should be on our show,
Uh-huh.
who do you think it should be and why? And then before you answer, you have to make the connection for the next potential guest.
Oh, okay. Oh my golly, there's probably a lot of people I can think of, and now I can't think of them. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Um, hmm. Oh, I don't have the person's name here with me right now, but could I send it to you?
You sure can. I mean, you have my cell phone number now, so please feel
Okay.
free to text me at any time.
Yeah, because I'm going to connect you. I'm going to connect you to somebody who handles say no to drugs.
Mm,
And that would include then alcohol, but drugs as a general topic, and it's just mind blowing, the information.
love it. Love to hear that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, please connect me with that
Yeah,
person. And yeah, it's been fantastic having you on the show. I really appreciate your time.
yeah. Thank you, and I enjoyed it too.